to part 2 of the Luthier's Lair series, entailing the construction of the Gazzbass Falcon Series 2, which is a headless fretless model of the Gazzbass Falcon Series 1, hence Series 2, you know, because if I called it Series 1 headless fretless, you know, that's just too many words. It's like, it would never fly like something like JD Supernatural Classic Series 1 Mark King model. Yeah, so in this episode I'll be hopefully getting the neck finished up, at least in principle, and we'll start carving the neck. That means the LEDs will be fitted, all that stuff. We'll get the body carves done in the body, and you know, we'll out a truss rod insert in the body and all that stuff. So I hope you can join me and hope you can stick around. It's going to be some fun today, okay? Yes, let's go and get on with it now, okay? Okie dokie then. All the LED holes drilled and the wiring channel routed in the back for the LEDs. Beautiful fit now. Everything looking good. The next job will be to radius sand the neck to a 12-inch radius. That's the one I'm going to go with. Incidentally, a quick poll revealed that most bassists would like to see the LEDs on the low end of the bass neck on the top and the high end on the bottom, and I guess that makes sense for when you're playing it. You can see that part, and then down here you can see that. So yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with that, so that's what I did. Drilled the holes in a different place, as you saw in the last segment probably when I was centre punching the neck. So this is looking hunky-dory spiffy with. I'll just get my truss rod and make sure everything's okay. It should be poking out a little bit at the end on this model. Yeah. And there we go. There she is, little truss rod. And I'll leave a little overhang usually on the fingerboard, and then I'll round that off after I've glued it on and done all the circuitry. That's a tight fit, which it should be. So, on to the next, which is wiring the LEDs and also radiusing the neck. I think I will radius the neck first, or I might not, because the LEDs haven't come in yet, you know. They haven't come in yet, and then I want to see how they fit. But that won't affect me when I radius it, because I can hold that flat at the tips anyway if I need to hollow out any more pieces where the LEDs are going to go, which I probably won't need to. It's looking good as it is. On to the next. So here we are. I have 2 pieces of flat oak here to support the fingerboard while I'm radiusing it. I've got my sandpaper attached to the radius block, and the trick here is to be very even as you go up and down the fingerboard. I've got some little pencil marks in the middle here that you probably can't see from there, and the trick is to get it nice and even. You can actually see how even you're being when you sand it. I'm going to show you. Okay, long strokes. Okay, like so. And as you see, I'll just do this a few times, sorry, and then we'll stop for a minute and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, you have 2 sort of even tracks of sanding going all the way up there. I have pencil marks on here to know that I'm sanding away the appropriate stuff. When the pencil marks go, I know it's getting there, until a convergence in the middle where the topmost pencil marks here go away, and then I stop. Okay, but I can see I'm being pretty even here. as I go. I can adjust to get more even, you know, on one side than the other, because it's human nature to favour one side usually. So you just keep going like that across the whole length. And it's better if you use a point of reference for guidance. Usually it's down here for me. I just keep looking at where I'm coming back to and knowing that I'm even. It shouldn't take too long. What I'm using is, I don't use a rough sandpaper for this. I'm using 220 grit for this. I feel it gives me the best results. It allows me to figure in the radius fairly easily, as compared to maybe starting off with a rough 80 grit. If I go 220 all the way, I'm getting a good radius. That's what I've always used, and I feel that's, for me anyway, the best way to do it. There's no hard and fast rules, of course. As long as you get the job done correctly, it's fine. Okay, so that's a start to figure in the radius. Once all the pencil marks have gone, I know I've got a 12-inch radius. So cool, let's go for it. Okay, I've dimmed the lights slightly. In fact, I'll dim them even more, because it's time to test the LEDs. I just got finished wiring them up in a series parallel combination. My LED driver is there, that's it there, see, LED driver, battery. I have the negative connected already. Here we go. So they work, yes indeed. Doesn't that look splendiferous? Look at that. Isn't that nice? It's pretty awesome. So what we've got here, let me just tie this off so that I don't have to keep a hold of it. It's a bit crappy. Hold on. Alright, so what we have. And here we have 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 10, 11, 12th fret octave. 12th fret's the first octave. Then 13, 14, 15, 17, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's a 2-octave neck. Red lead, red lead, lead red. Red lead red didn't lead in. So awesome, right? Seems to be working nicely. I'll hold that up. You can see that much better if I hold it up. Yeah. You see that one? Yeah? That one now? Yes, yes indeed. Yes you can. Yeah. So, everything working nicely. Now, we can actually glue the neck together, and then it'll be time to sculpt the neck out of the wood. So, we're doing okay so far on this build. My Falcon Series 2, which I've now decided to call it. Thanks to Laurent, he has a Series 1, which has a head and is not fretless. So, thanks Laurent again for the idea, and onwards and upwards, let's go. Oh boy, do I take clamping seriously. And you know, as I clamp the neck here, the neck's just sitting in my vise here. You know, take it real seriously, keep the LEDs on as I clamp. I usually use more. A lot of these wood pieces are like radiused underneath the 12 inches so that, you know, I'm getting an even clamp and I'm not screwing up the fretboard, the fingerboard actually I should say, because there's no frets in this. But afterwards, if there's any clamp marks and stuff, well, you know, it's rough, and the LEDs are sort of countersunk right now, so that I've got room to just figure the neck a bit more to 12-inch radius. It should be okay, and the back of course is getting sculpted, carved out using my Shinto, which is that that old black magic has me in its spell. There you go, that's the Shinto. Still got some wood in it, and that will be the next step for the neck. Meanwhile, I can continue working on the body. I know the neck heel fits perfectly. It might not afterwards, but you know, there's tolerances we work with, so that you know it will fit in the end result. So I can go ahead and just groom this down, get more sanding done on it, and then put sanding sealer in it so it's very flat and can take a finish. However, this base does not deserve to have something like poly on it or something like that.
Polly wants a pizza.
It's looking so good, and I got the veneer looking so good that I'm thinking I should just, you know, maybe stain it natural stain all over, of course, and let it dry for about a week, and let's see what happens there. You know, I might sand it afterwards, but I've still got to do 2 carves in the body. The under Oxter and the comfort carve in the back. So I've got 2 carves to do, and that's always fun. I just get the angle grinder out and go, and that works really well. It takes 5-10 minutes to figure that in, and sand it down. So hey, we're looking good. Okay, so the neck is glued. It's been left to set overnight and clamped. I just want to check the LEDs are still working, which they are. Take this all off now, and what I did earlier was, let me just double check these LEDs. Just want to make sure everything's working fine. Okay. Don't use your teeth as wire strippers. Okay, so what I've done now is we want to put in side dot markers, side dot inlays in the neck. In the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, the octave, 15th, 19th, 20th, 12th, 15th, 17th, 19th, 21st and 24th fret positions, where the frets would be. This gives you a little guide, you know, because playing a fretless bass can be somewhat daunting to start with. So, what did I do? Well, I have this material here. This is inlay material for the side dots on a neck. Nice and cheap, you get a bunch of them. And what I did was I cut little lengths, as you see here. Then, and this is 2mm diameter. I got my 2mm drill bit and put a little depth gauge on it and drilled holes at the positions that I want the fret inlays to be. Now the next step is, and I should have got this out earlier on, get ye olde glue. Right, and we're going to put the glue into a tray, a little tub like this. Just put some in there. Just a dab, you don't need much. There we go. Just a little bit in there. Clean that off. My wet rag. Okay, and the trick here is now is to put these little dowels into the holes and let them set. So, they don't need to be exact, of course, exact length, because we're going to cut them and file them down later. So, and with the neck being sort of not sculpted and everything's sort of flat right now, it's much easier to get these holes drilled, marked out and put in place. So we just dip this into the glue. plop it in. Don't worry about squeeze out, that's all going to get filed away. And as long as you don't rub the glue to try and get rid of the squeeze out, you're going to be fine, because it won't go into the wood. Okay, and once again, into the glue, a little dab in there, and plop, put it in place. And once we do all this, again we're going to check the LED inlays at every stage, because of the way they're positioned. I was careful not to drill through too deep. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. Let's just get them in place. Bit of glue. I'll take this off the black now. The black piece of plastic there was just so that you could see them. Can't see them against this white towel I have set up here. Okay, again. And of course the octave markers are doubled. The dots are doubled up. Okay, like so. And let's just do the whole lot, shall we? Nice and easy. It's not a long job, this one. Getting the holes in the right place is the most important part, and it's very easily done. So 3 more to go, and we'll be there. The dot inlays will be in place, and we can go about other business while that is setting. Because the next part in the neck construction will be to sculpt the neck, and that's the dot inlays in place. It's simple as that. This glue, if there's any left, if you want to keep it, you'll just throw it out. So, time for a drink of water, and then on to the next. So, at this stage of the build of the Falcon Series 2, I wanted to do something a little different with the neck. It's a headless base, headless and fretless. The Gazzbass Falcon Series 2. Same Falcon body. That sounds like swearing, doesn't it? Anyway, so what I've done is I made a piece for the head. It's actually going to have a little headstock. And that's the piece I made for it. Nice little shape there. And we'll go here, like so, on the neck. And that automatically, with this headstock piece, will create a little bend well. Although I didn't really want a bend well on this base, but it's a little one there. You got a 1/4 inch play, which is enough to get like a semitone, or a full tone actually. So, and I might still route out a channel deeper than that, but I don't think so. I don't think it needs it. So I came up with the idea of using sort of a cross between a diamond and a heart from a playing card type thing. You see there? See? There we go. Yeah, so it's got the heart shape and a half diamond shape as well. So what I did was I actually bandsawed this out and then filed it to shape it. This is maple, the same as the neck. I don't want dissimilar woods on the neck. That's been sanded flush here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on here, but I'm going to put a reinforcing screw in it. This has already been countersunk here, so the screw goes right in. I can either cover it with a filler, or I can not cover it with a filler, because what's going on the end is this, and it's going like so, and you can see the screw is in there, but these 2 screws here for this part of the headstock, it will hide that. So I think I'm okay with that. Actually, I think I will keep it like that. So the next job is to glue this on. Here we go then. Let's get this little decorative headstock piece on. It's also very functional. So we're going to put Tight Bond Ultimate on this, because I don't want this going anywhere, ever. dab of tight bond, ultimate, tight bond, whatever. There we go. Not too little, not too much. I want some squeeze out. A little bit squeeze out actually. Because then we haven't even started shaping the neck yet, so this is all hunky-dory. Okay. A lubrication for the screw. No puns intended. Okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that in there. And I'll just start that off a bit. There we go. Actually just a little bit more so I can get a location. There we go. And I'm getting quite a bit of squeeze out there. That's not bad. Actually it's not bad at all. Just wipe that slightly because I'm going to be carving that piece. Sorry I'm in your way. Tough. Right, so now just slowly put that in place. It's quite tight and make sure it's even. Yeah, it's absolutely straight. Okay. Now of course the screw, as well as a reinforcement, is also helping to clamp the wood, so I don't need to clamp this. So, end of the torque there, we're good. Okay, and that's all even. Here we go. Even Stevens. And of course, this piece will fit here. It's ready to go on, and it will screw on here, like so. I don't know what I'm going to finish this with, but I'll sand it down and stuff and finish it. That will sit there. See? And we've got a nice little shape here, which I like. It's a bit tappy, but there you go. It's nice. And then you always have that access here to remove this piece if required for maintenance or whatever. That's it. Yeah. Now the next job is to let all this dry, and all the front markers, as you can see, are still in there. The front markers are there. I don't know if you can see it from there. Front markers are still in there, sticking up. You can't play the bass like that. Right? We'll set that side. That'll dry up, and the next thing is to route the cavity in the body that will allow access to the truss rod. So that's our next little job. Fantastical. So as you can see here, I've built myself a little sled, because it's not Christmas anymore, it's January the 1st, 2021. I'm so sad. And then, I can move that along. There's an end stop there, and let's route this truss rod channel, shall we? Okie dokie. Yeah. What a lovely thing a router is, and I've got myself a nice sort of oval edge there, and up comes the double-sided tape. It's extremely tough, this stuff, and there it is. Nice big access. I hate those tiny little access things. It's meant to be functional. It's easily fit in there to go down to there, and you've got plenty of space there to get good adjustment out of my truss rod. So that's about it. Awesome. Now we can go finish the body, make the carves, everything. Cool. Spanner or wrench. No, I'm just joking. No. This is the new headstock design for, well, it's a new base, isn't it? It's the Falcon Series 2. Of course, the body is the same shape apart from the bridge side. But now we're working on the headstock here. I removed the nut because I don't want the nut going in the way, and it gives me actually a chance to check the radius better on here. Just clean up the nut slot. Of course, when you put a nut into a guitar, any guitar, use two dots, I should say. Oh, New Year's Day, forgive me. You use 2 dots of cyano, usually on this face here, like there and there. Then you place the nut in. Now, why do you do that? Well, you don't want it to be a permanent fixture. The nut is one of those parts of a bass or any guitar that can wear, you know, depending on its material. Usually, nuts are made of bone, or an artificial facsimile of bone. But I like to use brass because it certainly does lend to sustain a bit better. And you know, the next time somebody comes along and you've got a worn nut, I wish Luthier wasn't so full of innuendos. Anyway, next time you've got a worn nut, what happens is the guy who's going to do the repair from you can sort of tape the nut up there and just get a rubber face mallet and go pop, pop, and it'll come right out. It won't gouge out the wood like wood glue would do. So a couple of drops of cyano there and you're all the way. Now, speaking of which, I got asked on my AMA recently what was my favourite grit of sandpaper, and I thought it was a really weird question, but no, it's 220. It definitely is. So if you've done your job on the bandsaw correctly here, this is all glued and set. We're just going to gently shape this by hand, and just by hand, you know, use your thumbs. The good thing about 220 is it's not so coarse that you can't feel what's going on underneath to get the right curves and everything, but it's not so fine that you don't have a feel for what you're doing. So as you can see there's a lot of sand dust coming off, and this is getting really smooth curve here. This radius. By the way, if you want to know how I made this radius, well, see this? I took that lid off, and look at that. Perfect match, right? Yeah, that's how I made that radius. With a water bottle lid. This must. So, just gently go around here, and I do want to take off all the sharp edges because it won't flow as good. So, with this part here, that's a really sharp edge still. That's why I've got tape here so I don't screw up all the work I've done there. Should have done that before, and just do that. Just angle it. Don't do 90 degrees, do like a 45 on that. And just very gently go across it. Don't get too zen though, because you'll end up over sanding. And there it is. Beautiful little bull nose on that. And the same with this side. Can you see from it? Right, we'll do it this way. I'm not used to sanding this way, but I'll do it. Same thing, same angle, straight as an arrow. And just slowly whittle away. And there you go. Nice rounded edge. You can tidy it up. And the best way to tidy it up is by doing that. Following the contours. And watching how much material you're taking off at all times. All times. Just keep concentrating. Eventually I'll become I've always said sanding's very zen, but it really is. As you start to shape an object, and this object is like appearing out of the wood. It's always a very pleasing thing, and it makes you want to be meticulous, you know, so that object comes out beautifully and just the way you want it. I think that's nice. I think that's that done. I've got to do the sides now, do the front. I'll clean up this, it's got a little bit of cyano in it still, the nut slot here, and that's a good sign. that the cyano actually is on the wood and not on the nut. You know why? Because you can always tidy up the wood easily. Even if it was on the nut, you could tidy it up, or get a new nut, make a new nut, whatever you need to do. See, I'm looking down this now, and the radius I figured into this is absolutely spot on. I will be going over it with a very fine sandpaper later. So that's cool. Isn't that an interesting looking headstock? And like I said, hold on. There we go. This part here goes on there, like so. Oh, like that. This is all pre-drilled and everything's all set up for that to go on like that. And there's a little dip there. I might route a channel here so I can get a deeper bend, but it depends on the gauge of strings that you're using as well. You don't want to put too much excess force on this part. But that depends on the way you sculpt the neck as well. If you want it bend well, make it a bit beefier up here. That's all. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, going handheld for this part, so pardon the shuggling. There's the wenge wood with the LED neck. It'll look better with strings on it, and the thing is, the good thing about this, I think, some people might not agree with this, but the good thing is that when the E string is on, it'll kind of cover these markers, and as you're playing, they'll flash on and off. Same with the G down there. So this is looking really nice. As you can see, the wenge has a nice sheen to it right now, and that's only down to like 400, I think, right now. Excuse me, I have to show you the shop vac. No, just joking. Right, so there's the wrench head. Somebody called it a wrench head. It kind of looks like a wrench. I like it. I'm going to blend that in. I don't know whether to put a carbon fibre wrap on it, like just like the bench here, something like that. I don't know. So I've got the LEDs on. I'm going to twist the neck now and make sure this doesn't short out. And there's the dot markers right there. Came up real good, didn't it? I think so. Let's see. Nice. Of course, the neck needs to be tidied up and everything. And Alexa's trying to speak to me. Alexa, stop. Wow, it's reading me the news and I don't know why. Alexa, stop. God, I gotta get rid of the Alexa in my workshop. Shut up. So you see, I mean, everything's looking good. That's hilarious, by the way. What the frick? I never even said Alexa. I'm not going to say the word. So it's looking very nice. This is pre-carve. The next job now is to actually carve the neck and to carve it out, and we'll be good. Okay. My God, man. Jeff Bezos is watching you, said Mr. Orwell. Okay. That's it for part 2. But there will be a part 3 because I haven't finished building it yet, I guess. So, you know, I hope you stick around and watch part 3, which should be coming up very soon to a computer near you, or a phone near you, or a tablet near you, or any way you connect to the internet near you. And we're going to have a ball making this base. This is going to be a nice one. I hope so anyway. I hope there's no hidden design flaws that I've overlooked. But anyway, that's the thing with a new model. Just keep pressing forward. Let's see what we come up with. Okay? And until then, be safe, be good, and take care everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.